Welcome to Cavan's News and Views. Well, as the festive season fast approaches, it's the time to be merry. It's also the time to take care and plan our nights out and have a good night and a good time while we're out. And talking safety and giving good advice, I have with me this evening, I have Sergeant Noel Harraghy, and he is the Crime Prevention Officer of the Cavan Garda Division. Noel, thank you once again for coming into studio.
Thanks for having me on. It's great to be here.
Okay, great. As we say, the festive season is approaching. It's time to be happy and joy, and time when people go out and about and like to have a good night's fun. And it's the time when we like to be giving gifts and doing all sorts of things. We kind of let our guards down sometimes at Christmas.
Sometimes, and I suppose the important thing about Christmas is friends and neighbours and people get together, and maybe people you haven't met in a while, and we get together and we go out and we want to enjoy themselves. And I suppose we encourage that, and we've nothing against people enjoying themselves, and it's very important that people do enjoy themselves in the season that's in it. But again, it's a matter of, if you are going out for a party night or going out to socialise or going out to have a few drinks, just plan the night ahead, rather than being there at the end of the night wondering, God, how am I going to get home, or who's going to get home, or can we drive or can we not drive, So again, it's just plan it in advance, arrange your lifts home, go out and have a good night. And if you are going out, especially younger people in particular, if you are going out for a couple of drinks or whatever, look out and look after each other, because at different times people go out and maybe somebody might have a few drinks too many and might be a bit awkward, a bit quarrelsome, and you'll be inclined to leave them behind. But it's important that if you go out together, stick together and look out for each other, even if somebody does get that little bit over a wee bit too much to drink, or maybe maybe not feeling so well at the end of the night. It's important that we leave nobody behind, because again, when you wake up in the morning and come home, if you go out for a good night, you want to come home and you want to have a good night afterwards and the next day and the following day, but you don't want any regrets.
Okay, so you're talking really about a planned night. So if you plan a night out, you plan your way, you plan your night out, and you plan your way home, and you take care of the people you were with. Also, as you mentioned there as well, you can also have unplanned nights where maybe you take a drink and you cannot drive home, so you leave your car behind and make sure that that people that you were out with, that they get home safe.
Exactly.
Now I have to say as well, I'm quite impressed here. You've got the 12 safety tips for Christmas, and of course it evolves around alcohol, and and another very good point as well. One of the points is that you never walk home alone. If you do miss your lift home, if somebody does get separated, if somebody does storm off, maybe a little bit worse for wear, walking home on your own, you may not have a high vis. You are a high risk of an accident.
You pedestrians are a high risk, at any time of the day, but particularly at night time, and particularly if you're after a couple of drinks, and again, there's an ad on the telly at the moment where
very poignant, where the road buckles up.
Exactly. So again, you can stumble out, and especially if you go out and you're not prepared for coming home, you don't have the high-vis jacket on you. And again, drivers, I suppose, at night time, depending on the weather as well, if there's a footpath, it's not just too bad, but if there's no footpath in an area and some pedestrian happens to just wander out on the road, it's very hard for a driver to see.
And of course your motor skills, and of course your skills for walking may not be the best either. You might think it's a short journey, but it could be a long journey. You might maybe negotiate crossing roads and things like that. People don't realise.
Yeah, and that's why we were insisting, just try and get somebody to go home with you, try and maybe arrange a lift, or try and get a taxi. If you can't get a taxi, ring somebody at home, because again, a parent or anybody would prefer to see you at home than having to go the next day, maybe
or get that call from the guard,
get that call from ourselves, say an accident has happened or whatever. That's the one thing we don't want to happen. We want everybody to enjoy the night out.
And of course, responsibility for next day driving. We must not let our guards down on that. People should know, and you can log on to Drink Aware, and you can find out exactly if you've drank more than you should. If you've any idea of what you've drank, you should know how long it takes for it to metabolize out of your body before it's safe, before you drive again, because even though you might feel okay, it is not safe. You will be over the limit the next day.
You can be over the limit, and apart from getting caught, it's actually dangerous, because again, if you're driving with a hangover and you're not concentrating fully, you're a danger on the road. And if you do happen to get caught and you're over the limit, you mightn't think it, but again, it's important that you have plenty to eat, that you give the drink lots of time to digest itself, and be safe.
Okay, just a point on that, Noel, and I know you're in the crime prevention and the safety division there of all of that. At Christmas time, is that a time where there is a rise in accidents, like that unfortunate accidents if somebody just had to take the car? Is there a rise in that kind of accident at Christmas?
It varies. Some years you can be very unfortunate, and you know, some years it can be low enough, and other years it can rise substantially. I suppose the fact that people are out and people are maybe home, and you know, it's oftentimes, you know, there's people maybe home on holidays and they're driving on the road, and maybe things have changed, maybe since they went away or whatever.
Absolutely, it could be a different culture in a different country, maybe.
Exactly, yeah. and it's just be aware of what's going on and who's out there. Whether it's, I suppose the one thing, if an accident occurs around Christmas time, it upsets an awful lot of people. You know, it upsets people at any time of the year, but around Christmas time, you know, it's particularly worse. And you'll always remember what happens at Christmas time.
Yeah,
you know,
and that's it, folks. So you should take care and have due respect for your family, so that you don't put them in the throes of this during Christmas. Of course, there's a lot more to being safe at Christmas than just careful party nights out. There's many things as well. And we just perhaps talk about, you're in the crime prevention division, we'll talk about scams and the kind of things where people try, you know, people maybe at Christmas are feeling a little bit more flahulach, and they see things and you think that's a good idea. People are looking for money, collecting money for charities. There can be a lot of scams.
There's a lot of scams, and just before you part with your money, just wonder, you know, just you have to start asking yourself, well, is this going where it should go? You know, and it's hateful to throw money out to somebody and realise just that person I shouldn't have given it or whatever.
So you should check people's ID.
Check people's ID. Check that they have a permit. If they're holding a collection in a public place, they should have a collection permit.
Can ordinary Joe Slope ask
anybody
for
can?
A permit?
Yeah, they're supposed. Whoever's having a collection should have the permit with them for inspection at any particular time. You know, and most genuine people will have it with them because they're given an authorization. The person organising the collection will get a permit, and then it's up to that person to have an authorization for everybody that's collecting. So again, they should have that authorization.
You can't have where you would have people with forgeries. You can't. How can you check that out?
Well, if you have a doubt, report. Give ourselves a shout there, and we'll check them out. No problem whatsoever.
Okay. Now, as well, people out shopping, doing a lot of shopping under pressure, mothers rushing around during their shopping. There are opportunists. There are opportunists out there watching you not being careful. Also watching the way you pack your shopping into the car. Yeah. And also, I'm very worriedly hearing about this scam where people can actually block your signal to lock in your car.
Yeah,
is that true?
It is true. Yeah, I suppose there's always an opportunist there to take advantage of a situation. I suppose, as you said earlier on, Christmas time is a time where a lot of us maybe carry a little bit more cash than we normally have. Again, if you are doing shopping, just be wary. If you are carrying valuable items and you're going back to your car, there is a device that the criminals are using to block the signal from your fob.
I find that hard to believe. I don't understand these kind of things. But just tell me, somebody's sitting in their own car watching you lock your car with your zapper. Is that what happens?
Yeah, a lot of people have a habit of maybe, you put something into your car and you walk away from your car and you lock it with your zapper as you're walking away.
Yeah.
Now, the zapper sends a radio signal to your lock. So again, lots of radio signals can be blocked, and that's what this blocker does. It blocks the radio signal getting from your zapper to your lock. So you turn away, you press the zapper in your car, you're walking away and you think the car is locked, and it's not locked at all. And if you've put something valuable into your car, all the criminal has to do is go over, open the car, take the stuff out and away.
So beware. So
the shopping thing, and it happens quite often enough. It's when you're going your shopping, especially with ladies out there with the handbags. Mind the handbags, and again, don't leave the handbag sitting on top of the trolley if you're going around the different aisles or whatever, because we've all this sort of habit of going around in an aisle and something spots your eye there and you go back to have a look and you leave the handbag there in the trolley and you go around to have a look at something. The criminal is there waiting for the opportunity. They often even just nick into the bag and grab the purse or take the handbag itself, and it's gone. They're very, very, very quick. So again,
and
very careful with the handbag.
And there's nothing you can do about it. If your hundreds of euros are gone,
it's gone, and it has happened, around the Christmas time as well, and people just were unfortunate and would have lost a lot of cash.
Yeah. Okay. So then you decide then you're going to not do so much cash, but you're going to use your card and you're going to use the ATM, and you're also going to use the wireless. Where you can touch so many shopping items, you can touch the wireless thing.
Yeah.
Okay. You do say, and one of your points is ATMs. Be vigilant at ATMs.
At the ATM machine, you want to concentrate 100%. You want nobody niggling at you or pulling at you or one way or the other. Just be extremely careful on an ATM machine. Because again, I would have given a presentation in several places there where I just show where cameras have been fitted on ATM machines, and you will not see them. They're going to be. If you could see them, the criminals know that you're not going to use the machine, so they're concealed in such a way that you're not going to see them. So again, be extremely careful on an ATM machine. Cover one hand with the other. And don't let anybody else see your PIN number. Be careful as well with anybody close over your shoulder.
Christmas, you should do that all year round.
All year round,
yeah.
So. But it's just, again, people are maybe tempted around Christmas maybe to take out more money than they should take out. Take out what you need. Don't be taking out more than what you need.
And also as well, place your valuables in the boot of the car, not on the seat of the car.
If you don't need the valuable, again, if you're out shopping and or whatever, put the valuable in the boot, but make sure the boot's locked. Make sure everything is locked. Don't bring anything. If you're going visiting a graveyard or going visiting a church or going visiting or whatever, only bring what you need to bring. Don't be leaving the handbag in the car and hiding it under the seat, because again, it's something that is going to be spotted. The criminals that are after this sort of items, they know, they're at it every day of the week, and they know if something is hidden or not. So again, don't be leaving laptops, tablets, handbags, anything like that in the car, because it's going to be gone.
Of course, folks, you should be vigilant all year round with this. But as you know, at Christmas we get a bit scatty, we get under pressure, we're in a hurry, and that's the time the opportunists will strike. So,
but I suppose the important thing, I suppose, is it's important that nothing spoils our Christmas, and that's probably why we're given this advice. Because if somebody steals something from you, or you lose something coming up to Christmas time, it spoils everything. And that's one thing that we don't want to happen.
Okay, now talking about Christmas again, Christmas and scams and things like that, maybe safety in the home, people calling to your house at Christmas when you're not expecting things again, you hear and you knock on the door, maybe you leave, like safety in the home at Christmas, both physical safety of candles and unlocked doors and things like that, but also safety for all the family at Christmas. Yeah,
I suppose Christmas will be no different than any other time of the year as far as keeping your property safe. So again, be careful answering the door. Just have a quick look through the keyhole or the peephole or a window to see who's at the other side of the door before you open the door, rather than just letting every Tom, Dick and Harry into your home or whatever it was. So again, just be careful who you let into your home. Have the controls in place. Again, leading up to Christmas, don't leave any valuable items sitting under the Christmas tree where somebody can look in the window and see them from outside.
Good point.
Because don't advertise what you have.
We kind of like doing that, leaving the curtains open.
But don't leave it.
It looks nice and inviting, but maybe too inviting.
You can put the cheap stuff under the tree, but
so they just get the balloons under the tree.
Leave the more valuable stuff there for Christmas Eve.
So don't be putting your valuable Christmas presents under the tree. It's a temptation.
Exactly.
And if they get the opportunity, somebody will pop in and help themselves, perhaps.
Yeah. So again, just put them down Christmas night or whatever it was, and or whatever. But if they're there if the house is empty during the day and somebody's looking in the window and sees something there that they fancy, you're making yourself a victim or a target. So again, try and minimise that as much as possible.
Okay. Now we were just talking before we came on, Noel, and as well, I was asking about robberies this time of the year, but you made the point that it's sort of like September, October, early November when the opportunists are really looking for the fast injection of cash themselves. Yeah,
October, November, first half of December, is probably burglaries is probably the time that they peak most years, so again, it can happen any time. The opportunist is there, and if he sees the opportunity, or he or she sees the opportunity, if they see the opportunity, they're going to strike, whether it be Christmas Day or Stephen's Day or Christmas Eve. It doesn't make, they don't have any worries. They don't mind whether it's a Sunday or a Monday. It's just...
have to remember that.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so that's tips that we can do to help ourselves. Great stuff. Now, We also can help you help the Gardaí by being aware and by being informative, and that's where we have the Garda confidential line. If anybody notices anything unusual, say cars driving around, and people can notice things, people can use their camera phones to take numbers of cars, and people themselves can help themselves as well.
That's the one point I was going to make. Every one of us or I suppose an awful lot of us are carrying mobile phones, and every mobile phone has a camera on it. Or not every mobile phone, but a lot of mobile phones have camera. And again, if you were out and you spot something that's your intuition tells you an awful lot, and it's a matter of trusting.
If you notice something strange.
If you notice something strange, there's a reason for that, and it's important. If you have a phone in your pocket, take out and take a quick snap of it, because you'll have the registration number, you'll have the make, you'll have the colour, and you won't be dependent on your memory. Is it right or is it not? And it'll be 100% accurate. And if something does come up or whatever, you have the information there and you pass it on. Because sometimes if you're dependent on your memory and you wonder there's a number and you get a confusion in your head or one thing or another, if you have the phone and you take the photograph of it, it's going to be right. And it's something to be wary of, or something to be mindful of, I suppose.
Okay, of course we have the Garda confidential line. If you want to give the Garda a call, 1-800-666-111, a very handy number to remember. 1-800-666-111, and we can help the Garda to help us. Now, around Christmas time as well, sometimes it's a time where people drink a little bit too much and things get out of hand, and you've got like domestic violence and things like that. There are a number of organisations out there that can help, like Women's Aid can help, and there's Aine as well. And also sometimes people have to call the Gardaí as well. But as you say, watch out for each other. Like when somebody is getting abusive or something around Christmas, or you see somebody, say if I'm walking down the street and I see somebody being abusive to somebody, and maybe the other person is not in a position to help themselves, what would you do in a case like that?
I think in a lot of it's better to contact ourselves, because again, in a family dispute, or a domestic dispute or whatever, you don't know what's going on, and you don't know.
Okay, you hear a big racket going on next door, and somebody's beating the daylights out of somebody. Ring the Gardaí.
Ring the Gardaí and let them deal with it, because again, somebody, if an individual or an ordinary person gets involved in it, the two people could turn on you. So again, it's important. It's important just be wary, because as we know ourselves, like from domestic situations, it can be very violent. It can, you don't know what you're going to face.
Yeah, well, we know what the Garda over near Dundalk.
That's right.
As well.
So again, it's not something that you take lighthearted. You go in and you have to go in prepared for it.
So you don't mind people ringing the guards saying,
"No,
sorry, Garda, I hear something really bad. It's not good next door." Ring the guards. That's
exactly. Well, I suppose the way of looking at it, if something happened the following morning, you say, I should have rung. It's better to err on the side of caution and make the call, and that we'll adjudicate it then when we arrive at the scene, whether there's need for guard action or not. But again, it's important, I suppose, that for domestic violence incidents, it happens across all strands of society, and some people are reluctant to report it or one thing or another, but you're entitled to be free. Nobody is entitled to assault you or to abuse you or whatever. So again, just remember that
even if they're out and they have the very merry and they have the few drinks in them, it still doesn't make it right.
It doesn't make it right.
Okay.
No. And just remember, don't be. We deal with it. It's important that that you don't suffer in silence, and that the services are there to support you.
Okay. Now, pickpockets, we know the opportunists are out there. Be aware where you put your money, but maybe the fact that we're getting to be more of a cashless society is a bit of a help. It is a bit of a downfall for the pickpockets.
Probably is, but again, going back to the ATM machines again, I suppose if we're going towards the plastic money, just cards can be skimmed and one thing another as well. So again, just because you have a debit card in your pocket, it's not always safe to have it. So again, going back to the ATM machine, some of the cards can be skimmed at the ATM machine. So again, if you're using an ATM machine on a regular basis to withdraw cash or for payments or whatever, get into the habit of using one that you're familiar with. So again, if you see something different at some stage, or at least there's a chance that you might know. And probably one of the tips I would give you, if you're going, the place where you put in your card into the machine, the slot for the card, just go in and give it a wee shake, and if it's any way loose whatsoever, go to some other machine, because again, oftentimes
the sign has been tampered with.
It could be tampered with, and oftentimes that's a card reader, and it can read the information that's on your card, and oftentimes that's where cards are actually cloned. It's from the information you get of your card and the clone onto another card.
Okay, so we should take care of that all year round.
All year round, and get into the habit of checking your account on a regular basis to make sure that every transaction that you see on your account, that you know that you have authorised it, or you can vouch for every transaction that's on it. And if you do spot something, check it out. And do it on a weekly basis, because I know myself, if you leave it for a month and you go back and you say, oh, what's that for there, or what's that for there? Whereas if you do it on a weekly basis, you'll actually remember what you spent it on.
Okay, so some very good tips there. So the main point is that we all have camera phones on us, and as you say, if we notice anything suspicious at all, just take it, as long as as long as they're not children or anything. Sure, if it's nothing, it's nothing, but it could be of help.
It's one way of recording information, but instead of depending on your memory, it's a good way of recording information and accurate information as well.
Okay, so there you are, folks. We have it. Some safety tips for a safe, happy, and good time at Christmas. Yeah. Is there anything? Would you like to add anything to that?
Well, I suppose just on behalf of the Garda organisation in Cavan and Monaghan, I would just like to wish everybody a peaceful and a happy Christmas and a crime-free Christmas, and the best of luck for 2016.
Well, that's it, folks. That's this section of Cavan News and Views. I'd like to say thank you to Sergeant Noel Harraghy, the Crime Prevention Officer, has given us some very good tips there. Great tips for Christmas, and tips indeed we should have for all year round. And again, from Cavan TV, we hope you all have a peaceful, happy and a great Christmas.